Mate suppression is a very real thing, and it's a very big issue in the United States. I'd say it's a bigger issue in the United States than it is in Canada or the UK because in the UK, it's not that hard to get a woman. The big issue in the UK and Australia too, it's not that hard to get a woman. I've been to Australia, I've been to the UK. It's not hard to talk to women, chat a girl up. Like they're delusional, but it's not hard to get a girl over there. It's not hard to get an attractive woman in the UK. It's not hard to get an attractive woman in Australia, especially not in Canada. I had some good times in Canada as a kid, so it's not that hard. Like it's like if you live in America, especially one of those shitty flyover areas, and then you come to America, it's like night and day. You're like those. I can't even imagine what it's like for niggas in those shitty ass zones where it's like the women don't even talk to these dudes. They just reject them all day. They're just having a hard fucking time. They've never touched a girl in their life like fire marshal. It's fucking rough. Um, and you go to somewhere like Vancouver where you could just go into a pub or arcade or whatever. At least back when I was a kid, and a girl would chat you up, and you get to smash, hang out, kick it, the full gambit, have a good time. Like up there, the people that were seeing hookers in Vancouver were the exact type that you think would need to see a hooker because the girls are cooperative. Now, in terms of long term relationships, that's where the issues of pushback and cooperation are an issue. Same in Australia and in pretty much anywhere in the world, but actually getting a partner is not hard in those countries as it is in the United States, just because of the sheer amount of fucking delusion that takes place here. One of the big reasons is for this is, and Willie P talked about this in a video he made yesterday, is the fact that a lot of ugly ass women get swooped up by black dudes. In the black community, we're just going to use the black community example, but this happens with white women too. It's usually a black and a white issue. Like Hispanics, they have an issue. Most of the things with the Hispanics and the Indians is, to be honest, is them trying to get white girls. That's the issue with Mexicans and Asian and the Mexican dudes. That's their issue. When they're complaining about women, it's hard for them to get white girls. That's what the niggas are complaining about. That's what they can get their own. It's not that hard for them to get their own women. Because a Mexican chick will get a Mexican 4. A Mexican 9 woman will get a Mexican 4 male. Like, they'll date that nigga. If he's alpha as fuck, but he's a fucking 4, but he's hella fun and nice, they'll get with that nigga and have his kid, and it won't be a stigma or any of that. But they want a white dude, they want a white chick. That's where the issue comes up. And even for the chicks, if they want a white dude, the whole swirler issue. But as it pertains to black men and white men in America, they have a lot of fucking issues with their women because these women can get Chads and Tyrones. Like I said with the Willie P video, Willie P's talking about how these dudes go out here and they fuck these ugly ass women and knock them up, then they get caught up with child support and basically get their lives ruined. That happens because these women, they want the validation of being with an attractive dude because they look like shit. Let's be honest. Let's say what it is. And B, like I said, a lot of times, especially if they get with somebody who's of another race, the mulatto baby gives them aesthetic value. It's like, look, this thing of beauty came from me. That's a whole nother thing, but yeah, it's a part of the equation. So the men in their range, the guys in the 1 to 6 range, have no fucking chance in hell getting these women. They have no chance in hell. Because in normal situation, your personality and the way you carry yourself, it carries a lot of weight in terms of getting a woman. And like I said, for like Mexicans, Indians, Vietnamese, Chinese, they can get their own women. They usually have an issue trying to get white girls. That's usually where they get fucked up. And that's when they get depressed because it's like all I can get is a damn Asian girl. All I can get is a Desi girl. All I can get is a Latina. I can't get that white girl. That's what they want. But for the black dudes and the white dudes, it's like these women are not choosing them. You'll see a white dude with a black chick because he can't get a white chick. You'll see a black dude with a white chick because he can't get a black chick because these chicks are fucking delusional. Because they're chasing King 685. You know what I'm saying? They're chasing that guy, and he's just gonna pump and dump them. And they'd rather get pumped and dumped by a male dime piece. And it's not even just looks. I'm gonna keep it real. Like if he's ugly, but he's in shape, and he's got a fuck ton of personality, and lots of friends and validation, social proof, it's the same shit. So they want these larger than life dudes. It's not even just about like looks and height and all that shit. They want the larger than life character. They want the best guy, the best of the best, whether it's socially or physically or both. And so regular ass dudes are fucking irrelevant now. So if he's got a good job and he's okay looking, not even ugly, he's an okay, regular, everyday dude, but he doesn't have the personality. He doesn't have a Rolodex full of friends, and he's not going to go to the club and have revelations. He's just some dude that's just there. Then he's nothing. He's garbage. He's shit. He's invisible. But when they blame all men, they actually hate those dudes. And when they blame all men and they're talking about Tyrone and Chad, they're not going to say that it's Tyrone and Chad. They're going to say it's these niggas, these regular everyday dudes that they wouldn't piss on if they were on fire. And so these guys are going overseas and shit. But in the case of the black chick, a lot of other races really ain't trying to look for no damn black chick. You got some who go out there, but they're raised around other cultures, and there's some caveat they use sex to get on whatever. But the vast majority of those women, they aren't getting chose by anybody. Okay, they're not. And so what they're doing, they'll do shit like they'll get on a fucking plane, they'll save up their money, and they'll get on a fucking plane and they'll fly their ass down to the Dominican Republic and Haiti and Colombia and shit, Jamaica, and they'll go looking for black American dudes. This is like, what the fuck? They'll go looking for these dudes down there because they figure if he's got the money to fly down there to look for chicks and trick off on them, they'll trick off on me too. That's how they're looking at it. And I saw these dudes talking about this in a video I just watched. And they're like, yeah, man, I went down to some country and there's I never got hit on by that many black American women in my life. Then I got back to America and it was back to being rejected. And that's what you're dealing with. That's the shit you're dealing with. These chicks are delusional. They're fucking delusional. And they'd rather chase a temporary fling than to be with a regular guy, and that's why so many of these dudes in America, in the United States, are bunless. They're bunless. They're getting no guts from none of these hoes. But the chicks are getting knocked up because they're sharing the same group of guys. Like I said in the Willie P video, and the video was spot on, but the guys he's talking about, those are not regular dudes. I'm just going to tell you right now. These aren't regular dudes. The reality is these are exceptional black dudes. These are exceptional black dudes, but since these exceptional black dudes have more access to the white community and more access to mainstream society, that's who the mainstream sees the most. And so they think that most black guys are like that, and they are not. Most black dudes are Darnell ass niggas working at a fucking warehouse or working a cashier job or some shit. They're hella average, and to be quite frank, bitches are not choosing up on them like that. They're not sewing up white chicks like that. They don't have the personality to do it. They don't have the skills to do that shit. They just don't have the skills. Like women will assume that they do, and they can, and if they're smart, they can play off of that to get into the game. But a lot of times, especially if they're in a black area, like in the South or in the Midwest or whatever the fuck, they're not gonna get the opportunity to even find that shit out. And so you're just gonna be in the hood, stuck with no bitches, none whatsoever. And some white dudes in these areas, they know about this. They're like, there's no. Oh, what did that white dude say? Oh my god. Oh yeah, dude. He said, "Fucking, there's no beta males in the black community. You're either alpha as fuck or you're nothing." And that's the truth. That is the truth. And that's what's happened to a lot of these motherfuckers out here, black and white. Like these guys calling themselves beta males, but they're nothing. They're zeta males, bro. Like the women just don't see them. They're just not even people. They're not a thing. They don't exist. And so it's like they don't, and the thing is, they're resting on the laurels of the boomer generation that could go out, work a job, meet a girl through the church or some shit. That's why they're always talking about religion and all this crap. And then just have a wife, and she would just sit in the house making biscuits and shit, like the mom from that movie. What the fuck was that movie? American Beauty, with the gay dad, where he's sitting there at home and watching war movies, and she's just on the couch, or she's in the kitchen cooking because she's like mentally fucked. She's mentally broken. And that's what a lot of those dudes want. And the women don't want that. Their moms or their grandmas went through that shit where they're married to this fucking loser. And they get old and there's just nothing. That's why you got women nowadays that'll just leave a dude at 50, dude. They'll just go to the gym. They watch these Instagram chicks because some of those bitches are 40, 50 years old. I've got women on the team. I got women on the team that's like 45. They're bad as fuck. Like crazy bodies. Some of them bitches don't even really work out. So, like, these women, a lot of these women that are not that attractive, they're skinny, fat, and shit. They've realized it's like, you know, like I could get into shape as a skinny, fat woman at 38, 45, get in the top tier shape, and then just start getting railed by male dime pieces. And that's what these women are doing. And so then this little regular ass dude that they're with, that might be raising a kid that they had. Notice how I didn't say it was his. They're just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm out, man. I'm 54, but I'm in shape now. Fuck this nigga. And they just leave. So the niggas that get married ain't even safe. They're in these sexless marriages and shit. Even if you do get a girl, you end up in a sexless marriage because they didn't want your ass to begin with, but they don't want to be alone, and they couldn't get Chad at the time. So now that's what it is, man. So now I'm looking at what Fire Marshal typed, and he's like, he never even touched a girl no much. Like, god damn. And I'm looking at this video that Willie Pete made about these niggas who fuck these ugly ass women, and they're way out of this woman's league, and then these women's heads get pumped up, and they're just like, you know, why should I date a regular fucking guy? I don't want to be stuck in this shitty ass marriage with this fucking nothing ass nigga. and they would rather die alone than to be like in this shitty ass life. And I'm telling you, it's mate suppression. It's by design. It's by design to lower the population so that they can maintain control as this country falls to fucking pieces. Because remember, the foundation of organization is the family. And if the majority of men can't have a fucking family, they're a lot easier to control. I mean, in some cases, you got dudes who are very easy to control because they have a family. That's what happened to Tariq G. He had a family, and so when they started talking reckless, they pulled him to the side and was like, "We can make all this go away if you don't play ball." That's what they do to a lot of dudes. If you see a lot of these dudes out here and they're like, "Oh, this guy's sold out," you saw the family. That's why they don't bring up their kids. That's why they don't bring up their wives. Because the elites will pull you aside and be like, "Yo, look, I know you got kids. I know your daughter goes to here and at this time and whoop-de-whoop. So, and you got influence. If you don't say this and promote this instead of that, yeah, you're not going to have a family no more, nigga." So, yeah. But ultimately, the mate suppression